Hi everybody, this is Tpull, known as Tpull on Magic the Gathering Arena anyway. My name is Travis, welcome to Tpull's Corner. And we are at the final Teleportation Circle Theme Week day, and we're doing Blinking Red. I don't know why when I do Theme Weeks, red always seems to be the final color deck that I make. But basically we've already done the other 4 colors, and we're going to see what we can do when we mix Teleportation Circle in with a bunch of red spells. So you can see there isn't a lot of white left, right? We've got a couple of board wipes in case we need them. We've got the circles themselves, and we've got 1 Moon-Blessed Cleric in order to bring the Teleportation Circle enchantment up to the top of the deck. We've got 3 Expels for creature control, and we've got 2 copies of Ambitious Farmhand to get some planes out when we need them. And so that's it. Because we've got, in terms of all the other cards where when they enter into the battlefield, what do you want to do with them? We've used most of the other white cards that's applicable for. So we wanted to really jump into the red and see what we could do. And this is the stuff we got. We'll do a quick overview here. We've got 16 creatures, 24 lands. We've got 1 Frostbite. We made sure to go ahead and cover the snow-covered plains and mountains in our deck. We've got 1 Spike-Filled Hazard, just to exile like the Shambling Gas type stuff that are always coming at us. 1 copy of Bloodthirsty Adversary. This is a 2/2 vampire with haste. And it's one of those ones where you can pay extra mana any number of times and get +1 counters on her. Then the other thing you can do, if you do put an extra counter on the adversary, you can exile up to that many instant or sorcery cards with mana value 3 or less from the graveyard to copy them. Then you can cast any number of the copies without paying the mana costs. So that's a handful. It's a mouthful. But the cool thing is we can bring her down at the very beginning. If we don't have the extra mana, that's okay. If we get the Teleportation Circle out later, we can blink her, and if we get to the middle game and have more mana, and we've got some of these things like Spike-Filled Hazard in the graveyard, we could copy them once or twice maybe and still use them and then exile them. We have First Day of Class. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and it gains haste, and you learn to get into the sideboard. So this is an enter to the battlefield, but it's an instant, so we're not going to be able to blink it back. But it does get us into our sideboard. And we've got Environmental Sciences there, start from scratch to get rid of our artifacts if we need to, Spirit Summoning, Expanded Anatomy, Introduction Prophecy, Illuminate History, and Introduction to Annihilation. That's our sideboard. After that, Goblin Morningstar. When it enters the battlefield, we get to roll a d20, and we can create a Red Goblin creature token, so we can keep creating more creature tokens every turn if we match this up with the Teleportation Circle. Sizzling Barrage. This one is, I'm hoping to be a good surprise one. When I attack with a bunch of creatures and they block, I can choose where to deal this 4 damage to a blocking creature. Stolen Vitality. Target creature gets +3/+1. If it's our turn, the creature gets trample. If it's happening during our their turn and they're attacking, we get first strike. So I think that's a good card. Rip Apart gets rid of enchantments or deals 3 damage to a creature or planeswalker. We covered the Expel, right? In the Cleric. Brimstone Vandal. Menace. If it's neither day nor night, it becomes day as he enters the battlefield. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, Vandal deals 1 damage to each opponent. And so this is kind of cool because if it does turn into night and I got Teleportation Circle out, I can always blink it and it automatically becomes day, and I deal that point of damage just with blinking the card. 1 Demon Bolt, 4 damage to deal with the planeswalkers, hopefully. Plundering a Barbarian either destroys a target artifact or creates me a treasure, and if I can blink it with the circle multiple times, this will help take care of if I'm facing an artifact deck. Or maybe I'll get multiple treasure tokens and be able to, do some of these bigger spells a little bit earlier in the game. Valakut Awakening, you can throw any number of cards from your hand on the bottom of your library and then draw that many cards +1. So if your hand is no good for what you're facing, it's kind of a last-ditch attempt to throw away your hand and see if your deck will give you what you really need as an answer. Voldaren Ambusher. When they enter the battlefield, if opponent lost life this turn, it deals X damage to up to 1 target creature or planeswalker, where X is the number of vampires you control. Angelfire Ignition, we have 2 copies of those. Adds a couple counters, plus the target creature gets Vigilance, Trample, Lifelink, Indestructible, and Haste. Now that's an awesome card. And what makes it more awesome is we also have Flashback on it. Alright, if I go too fast through these, remember, the deck list is below in the text, or you can just pause the video and go over these to your heart's content. In the meantime, Rem Karla, Stalwart Slayer. Legendary human knight with flying and haste. If a spell will do damage to you or another permanent you control, you prevent that damage. If a spell would do damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage +1 instead. So that's a nice card. They really, if they want to do some good damage to you or your creatures, not combat damage, right? It's got to be a spell, but this can really put a hitch in everybody's plan. So this Rem guy becomes like target #1 as soon as he comes out. Ardent Elementalist. When they enter the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. So if we can let her survive, match her up with the circle, any of our instants that go into the graveyard come right back. That's why I wasn't so afraid of having removals like Expel and Demon Bolt and Spikefield Hazard in there. We can at least get one out when we bring her back, right? We're hoping we can get multiple uses out of her. Smashing Success. Destroy target artifact or land. This is to get rid of things like the Hydra lands and the black lands that exile your cards when they attack, and every color's got some kind of disgusting land card. And then of course you got the Faceless Havens. So I figured we should have at least one answer to that in the deck. Goblin Gang Leader gives us 2 red goblin creature tokens every time he enters the battlefield, so we could recycle him maybe. Reconstruct History. You can return up to 1 target artifact card, enchantment card, instant, sorcery, and planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand. That's a nice card. The 2 Doomskars. Swarming Goblins. When it enters the battlefield, roll a d20 and create more goblin creature tokens. And again, we like to recycle that with the Teleportation Circle and just create ever more tokens. Lorehold Command. You can choose 2, so it's a nice choices here. You can create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. Give all of your creatures +1 and indestructible and haste till end of the turn. Deal 3 damage to target and gain 3 life, or sacrifice a permanent to draw 2 cards. Doomscar Titan. When they enter the battlefield, creatures get +1 and haste till the end of the turn. You can foretell that puppy. Here, Earthcoat Elemental. When they enter the battlefield, each player, depending on what you roll for the d20, right? Each player sacrifices a permanent. Hopefully we get better than 1 through 9. Then it's each opponent sacrifices a permanent, not you. And if you roll a perfect 20, the opponent has to sacrifice 2 permanents. So I'm hoping that we'll basically plan on sacrificing our land. So we want to get lots of land out. And if we have to do anything, we're sacrificing our land. Sometimes the opponent doesn't know they can do that. Sometimes they do. Red Dragon. When they enter the battlefield, it deals 4 damage to each opponent. So, I mean, technically, if you got a Teleportation Circle out, you could do 8 points of damage without even attacking, right? Just bring it down first and then blink it at the end. And the next big creature, Siege Dragon. When they enter the battlefield, destroy all walls. Whenever it attacks, if you got no walls left, it deals 2 damage to each creature without flying that the player controls. The rest is the lands. That's our deck. Go ahead and hit that like button if you would. Hit subscribe before you continue if you haven't subscribed already. And we're going to test this thing out and see how it does. Here we go. They keep giving me not just 1 expensive card, but 2 expensive cards up front. Morningstar to get something on the field. Doomscar's no good yet. We don't have the white mana we'd need to cast it anyway, so this puts a little something out there. We're going to have to use it as a blocker. Unless, you know what, we can do 2 now. Might as well just get rid of it with our existing Frostbite. If this is a lifelink deck, no need to give them just an early lead. Okay, now we have one of those, Plundering Barbarian, not yet. Let's go ahead. Just do that for starters. Do you ever get tired of playing with course elements? You could argue that I should have saved that for a more powerful creature, but you just don't know what's coming up. Like that, for example. Okay, so the only thing that's left for me to do is to create a treasure and get ready to Doomscar. Auto pit. And now I'm back in the same predicament. To use the second one, I still need a second white mana. And these guys just have another thread all lined up. Nice and easy peasy to go. Sorry, I know I just said easy peasy. Let's do this. Let's bring the Elementalist in. They're probably reading the card. And let's go ahead and get Doomscar back. We're going to lose her. Are you willing to put more creatures down, or are you just going to wait for Lurking Roper? Okay, it's your turn. You've only got one mana. What are you going to do? Where did they go, George? I'm getting close to being able to bring out some heavier artillery. See, this is kind of interesting. Why would you do that when you know I have that? And now you've got to wonder if that's another one. Unicorn. Okay. The one thing that I don't have in here that maybe I should consider is for the Earthcrawled Elementals and the Swarming Goblins and such is maybe get one of those class enchantments in here that enable you to roll extra dice. got Goblin Morningstar. It's probably worth experimenting with. Fine. Just do that. Am I being lazy this game? Just doomscar everything. Alright. Earthcold Elemental. Because I've got an extra land right now. Do they know they can just sacrifice a land? They do. Who are you bringing back? Do we care? Nice. Yeah, let's just do this. Hmm. Aha. That's what I've been waiting for. Now, can I blink this? I think I can. Gross. Hmm. Let's just build up our army then. You don't have vigilance. That's the one thing that saves me with you. That's why I didn't put out a flyer. Why bother? You're just going to tap a flying blocker. There we go. Okay, I can't bring out the Siege Dragon yet, right? But I can bring you out. Who cares about attacking? We'll just do 4 points of damage with the dragon each turn. Mana value 3 or less. Don't really want to use that yet. There's not enough creatures. So, how about this? Ta-da! Okay, I had to set aside the blinking red deck for a while, so I'm getting back to this, and it's different than when I introduced the deck and did the first match. This is after the new Innistrad expansion has come out, so we're going to see how the meta's changed and see how fast things have gotten. I already look kind of slow because it gave me two of the most expensive cards in my deck right off the bat. I need a creature to use this on. Here comes some Innistrad stuff already. And me without a real spell I can play. Which means he gets nighttime advantage. Usually the green and red decks don't have to stop and think like this. Yeah, let's get rid of this guy now. While I can. Interesting development. I get both of my circles and nothing to use them on. Okay, everybody gets haste. Just need one more land and we can start to cook. That's not a land. Ta-da! It's a mid-zero. We don't need to do better than that, do we? You killed him! Ah, but now we have a chance to blink it and get our little goblin creature back each time. But first, put this puppy down. Thanks to Barbarian class, we get to roll twice. And let's see, they've got duplicates here. So they could probably stand to lose one of those. Let's see if they know enough to sacrifice. They do. They get rid of their land. I get menace and haste. Blammo. And we can get rid of him. And bring him back. And roll the dice again. Each player sacrifices a permanent. You know what? Let's just get rid of the Morningstar. I need my land. I want to bring down a second Earth Elemental next turn. Yeah, that doesn't matter. It's the end of my turn. Gets his land back. And that was all he could do. Not bad. So Doomskars and Doomskar Titan. We've got a theme going already. I do need one more planes to get the Doomskars to work, though. And they gave me the most powerful cards I've got, so I need to survive long enough to have everything work. Depending on how long it takes me to get a planes, I could get perilously low on life going up against these life gain decks. We'll play that. All that does is maybe stop his innkeeper from pinging me. Maybe I just chump block now. Yeah, 11 points of damage on the field by turn 4. Not too shabby. But we are also kicking in. And you're not going to have me to kick around for much longer there, buddy. That's still only 3 creatures. And they got half their hand left. What else you got going on? The well has run dry for a moment. Let's try it. Well, equalize the playing field a little bit with the life anyway. 7 mana, that's a lot of mana. What are the other 2 cards you got? I'm kind of surprised right now. Kind of curious. What happens when we destroy that? Are you going to let that happen? He did. He let it happen. You going to let that happen? How are you going to let this happen? My opponent's just letting everything happen. I'm not used to this. Not against the green-white life gain decks. They must have not drawn any more creatures, which is kind of unusual for this deck. We'll take the win. My opponent is Snatch Grappler. Sounds like some strange new creature that they're introducing into the game. I like the hand. It gives me the ambitious farmhand up front so I can get more land right away. This should be a life gain deck. We've already beat one of these. Doesn't automatically mean we're going to win, but we beat him with the Doomskar the first time. see if they come up with... No, another innkeeper already. Okay. They should want to hold on to that, which means they're not going to attack. They use both their treasures, which probably means they've got somebody good waiting in the wings. So let's do this. No attacks. Use our circle, get another land right away. Was my 1/1 creature a threat to you? There we go, that's what I was waiting for. Four creatures. I'm willing to take some damage if it gets rid of 4 creatures. Lurking Roper. Frostbite's not enough against that. Let's go ahead and just get rid of one other forest right away. That's all we're going to do. Ouch. Okay, so I've got 6, so let's go ahead and do this. We'll create a treasure token, and then we'll create another treasure token. Unicorn, okay. Okay, chump block here, expel you here, and auto pay. I'm sure you can't come back to haunt me. Okay. Yeah, let's use this now. Attack! Give me some life back. And blink you. 1 creature or planeswalker. I only did 1 point of damage that way. Another Lurking Roper. Alright. Let's get rid of the lands. Let's get some new cards. Are you serious? Get rid of 2 lands and get 2 lands. Thanks a lot, guys. Okay, it's getting scary. So we can do that. Can I get haste there? I can, can't I? I don't have enough to... okay. So, we'll just end the turn. Do 4 more points of damage. If they don't have life gain, the roper stays tapped. And this is perfect. Because here, we can just destroy that now. And... yes. No? No. No, let's just attack. In the turn. Blink them. Do 4 more points of damage. That's what I was hoping for. 19! Get rid of 2 permanents. No, just 1. That's okay, that was too much for him. Alright. Okay, that's the deck. It performed pretty well. Again, like most of the other colors, since I used a lot of the white spells in the initial Blinking Black and Blinking White decks, I had just a smattering, you know, some removal, a couple of good ways to get land out, the circles themselves, and board wipes. That's it for white. The rest is red and the multiple colors, which I like these. The multicolor cards are very handy. Reconstruct History didn't come up too much yet, or Lorehold Command, but we made good use of the Earth Elementals. The Red Dragon came in for a good showing at the last match there. It performed better than I thought it did, or than I thought it would. So yeah, I may still want to tinker with this a little bit. The way the meta has changed with Innistrad, it seems like the game is forever hurtling towards being faster and faster. I'm not convinced that this is fast enough. I do have a lot of expensive cards here. You can see over here in the 6 and 7 drop. You know, I've got 5 cards, which is actually kind of a lot, but you know, that was kind of the theme of the deck, what I wanted to do. These are the ones that I felt gave me good value when combined with the Teleportation Circle. So I had fun with the deck. Try it out. Let me know if you like it too. In the meantime, come back again some other time, because we're always going to have another new deck right around the corner. And please like and subscribe. Catch you next time. Have a good one.